Hello, friends, and welcome. This is Madman Au Jus, number 3003. And you're like, you may be like, when did Madman Au Jus 002 come out? And it's like, well, you have to be a patron. You have to go to patreon.com/shockmonkeyradio to become a patron. And then you can watch Madman Au Jus 002 strictly for you on patreon.com/shockmonkeyradio. In fairness, I was pretty hammered then when I made that video, and I was like, I gotta give this to my paying subscribers. All the quality stuff. I'm not as drunk as I was in that video, but I'm getting close. I got a few beers left, so I want to talk about a couple things. Madman Au Jus 003. So let's talk about Rebecca Felgate. Some people have asked me, it's like, what is this chick up to? It's like, you used to be obsessed with her. You used to talk about her all the time on your show. And, well, here's where she is. 112,000 followers. That's impressive. Who am I to judge? You know, Kelly Powley. I should probably unfollow her. She's very lesbian. And I suspect there's some lesbian aspects to Rebecca. Traveling Bard, Happy Hedonist, weekly train episodes. Yeah, so she's been like going through Canada by train, and she's an influencer. She goes to these like bars. She goes like to the train company or whatever they have in Canada, and she's like, I can get people, promote your business and stuff like that. I have 112,000 followers. And so, as a hedonist, does bard imply music or a repository in person? Okay, it can include music. Okay, I guess it works. But this is, I mean, granted, she's super cute and everything, and she's got super cute friends and all that. I'm not. Should I even?
Dress code is fabulous florals. So we.
And she's got the English accent, and that works for her. But kind of done with her, And it reminds me of a girl I knew in high school, and it's like she. Let me put it this way. She said something that I overheard. I really liked her. I really wanted to hook up with her, but I overheard something she said, and it just turned me off forever. And there's people out there that still think I want to hook up with her. It's funny. And I don't. And Rebecca, she used to talk about interesting things back when she was on Most Amazing Top 10. And now it's just this travel, leisure, stuff like that. It must be nice to have money, And what a great dress. That's fantastic. What'd she do? Team Canada. Yeah, also she's like, as she's going through all these Canadian towns and stuff like that, she's, giving land acknowledgements and shit like that. And I'm just like, I'm done with you. I need to find a new brunette. Because she's not a natural redhead, That's all hair dye. Alright. Speaking of which, this is the brunette. Look how cute she is. I don't know. She just does it for me. Melanie Mack. But when you watch her videos, it's
but fortunately I don't follow trends. So Israel, I will continue to keep you in my prayers. I pray for God's guidance during this difficult wartime right now, as you take out the evil Iranian government regime that has been oppressing.
I mean, she's very sweet, and she's I like the things she says. She got famous I guess, because she threw around the F bomb. the F the F bomb, that the one that is synonymous with the bundle of sticks. And so she gets a lot of traction on that kind of stuff. And so isn't that a great pick? Not a fan of the pistol, but please. You know, every single video of some certain types of people include a loaded firearm. And so, look, 3 fingers here. Where's the other one? Where do you think it is? It's called trigger discipline. It's safe. It's fine. I love this chick. Please notice me. So, she does talk about the gays a lot. It makes me wonder. It's like, she like really like crushed hard on some dude who is closeted, and, and that kind of ruined it. She got really mad about that. It's like, I'll never find a guy like that again. Anyway, and she's great. She's Christian. She eats meat. She's a gamer. But what I really love is she's been doing these Bible verses for the day, and I think that it's really good. And I'll tell you why. Because I particularly like this verse, and I think I'm glad that she's doing these because she is so beautiful, and so there may be more people like who may pick up the Bible because she's beautiful and moral and, you know, even a little angry. But I mean, excuse me. I particularly like this verse, and so I just wanted to share it with you guys because I'm kind of head over heels for this chick.
Today's Bible verse of the day comes from Psalm chapter 56, verse 8. You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book. There you have it for today's Bible verse of the day. As always, if you have any prayer requests, feel free to comment those. Or if you have any commentary about today's Bible verse of the day, I would love to read that. Thank you all again. I'll see you tomorrow for another Bible verse of the day.
I mean, obviously she knows how cutesy she is. And so, but, I mean, if it introduces people to verses like that, I mean, the Psalms are really good. People like, you know, they skip past them. They like Psalms, Proverbs. That's the middle of the book. I get it, and so people skip it. But I mean, if you really think and read the Psalms, you know, they're kind of amazing. You know, a lot of it is I'm in love with this woman. Granted, there's a lot of I admire this woman kind of stuff. But there's also like things about justice, and there's things about God knowing the things that we go through, collecting our tears. You know, the Psalms were songs, you know, and so it's like verses of music, and they're way better than any rap you'll find out there these days. So she is great. More beer for me. So let's check in on Lily Gaddis. She is, I don't know, I appreciate truth without a filter, but I mean, there's always a ton of racism. I might turn her stuff down. Ha! Were you scared? I was scared.
To me, you look older than 15. How will I believe that? We need to find out your real
the thing
age.
with Lily is
So
that
if you help us,
she's
we can
really
help you.
obsessed with race and stuff like that. She's proud of the like Aryan heritage, and granted, you know, she's incredibly good looking. She's got this scar here. She says she got from falling off a horse. It must be nighttime. The shades are drawn. Sometimes I've seen videos and the lamp was over there, and the scar was over here. And so she's constantly talking about like racist issues and stuff like that. It's like, and I guess that trends that get you likes and subscribers and so forth. 46.3 thousand. I mean, who am I to judge? You're way better at this than I am. So I mean, but I mean, I guarantee you, you're gonna watch. If you watch this whole video, she'll be sitting here talking about an illegal African and somehow working Jews into it, and I'm just like, she's like, how could I put this? Yeah, she's super hot, but she's low key angry. She's low key angry, like very angry, and scared. And I'm sorry, it's like, yeah, you may be like, I think she's like I don't know, 5'10", 5'11", maybe. She's tall, she's blonde, she's good looking, and from every tall, blonde, good looking girl I've ever met in my life, white women, obviously, they've been scared of black guys, like especially large black men, and because they're very aggressive. I get it, but I don't know. It's like, I don't want to like be having pillow chat with somebody, and she's like, "You didn't satisfy me because of the Jews," you know, that kind of bullshit. It's like, sometimes there are easier answers, you know. Anyway, so I need a blonde to replace the top slot in my fantasy thing. See, I'm over the G.I. Joe thing, so now I just want to get laid. This is Mary Morgan. She appears, what is it, Pop Culture Crisis? Yeah. But she also appeared several times. I'm not into pop culture, so I don't talk about pop culture. I don't care about pop culture. But she's appeared a couple times on Timcast, and she is incredibly cute. In my head, I call her Living Dead Girl. I don't know. It's because she wears a lot of black, and she's obviously very cute and sexy. Small chicks. I like small chicks because they... How can I put this? They appreciate my anatomy more. Let me... this is funny because I think my comment was Spinal Tap did her smell the glove.
Cover of Sabrina Carpenter's new album called Man's Best Friend. And I've seen a lot of her fans defending this, saying, oh, actually, it's meta commentary on patriarchal objectification or some nonsense like that. Here's the reality. Even if this is an attempt at satire, it's clearly not well done satire, so you can't just use that to deflect criticism. You will never convince me that posing like a dog while a man grabs you by your hair or dressing up like a blow-up doll is somehow peak female empowerment. It's pop stars pretending to be intellectuals at best, and at worst, it's a cheap, degrading attention and money grab. As you can tell by Sabrina's own admission that sex sells, and that is why she leans into it.
Or she's just talking off the cuff?
Clearly, you love sex. You're obsessed with it. So no, it's not a message. It doesn't mean anything. And I am relieved that we are finally ditching this insane idea that anything a woman chooses to do is somehow inherently feminist or empowering. No, this is just embarrassing. There is nothing you could say.
Isn't she cute? You know, but the problem is, like,
since everyone was so mature about my last fashion video, I am back for round 2 of 2025 fashion trends I don't care. First off, the Labubu community is going to attack me for this,
like,
but
pop
these
culture,
bag terms
fashion,
are so
I really
ugly.
Don't care.
Need I say more?
And
also,
although I think she's incredibly cute,
angels,
I don't know. I'd rather listen to Lily, to be honest. At least Lily talks about more interesting stuff. You know, I think only about fashion and death. I hope not. I hope these chicks get married soon, because I'm coming after them. By the way, I have a YouTube channel, and it's a Patreon, patreon.com/shockmonkeyradio. I guess that C is because I'm the creator. So that's my last show, Endless Soap. I don't know how this tab got snuck in here. Anyway, I'm going to need another beer. and maybe step out for a smoke. But and I may mute the mic, and that might make the volume jump. I learned on. That's the only thing I really learned from Madman Au Jus 002, strictly for you, on Patreon. It's down here somewhere, isn't it? Madman Au Jus. Yeah. My patron crew. Yeah. So, excuse me. So, Battleship Liberace. So, I'm going to put on this video I wanted to watch, because this is probably like my favorite year of life. If I had 1 year to relive, it would be 1986 Christmas, like 1986, and May 1987, because excuse me, it was my favorite year because I got so many G.I. Joes. Oh my God, I'm sorry. It's the beer. It's the beer. I'm sorry.
I always like my G.I. Joe with a little bit.
Make sure I get to the back end of this.
I always like my G.I. Joe with a little bit of sci-fi.
I like this guy because
straight military.
You see he's got like a bottle of whiskey behind him,
a few years
and every now and then
right?
he'll cut to a clip, and he's like going
to
to the whiskey or going to the
aliens and shit. But maybe a few decades ahead, where we can imagine
the glass,
like killer robots or laser guns or jet packs.
Anyway, I'm gonna get a beer, have a smoke. Watch the audio.
Rulers created from the DNA of
because
a dozen assholes.
It may get louder. So turn your volume down. Turn your volume down.
G.I. Joe pushes sci-fi. For me, not too much. I think maybe if you could argue Serpentor is a push past the crazy into the real sci-fi stuff. But all the other elements to this is like it's using sci-fi in a really good, fun way, right? Symbolized by sci-fi. One of the, just one of the weirdest looking G.I. Joe characters with a laser gun, which was new to G.I. Joe. Obviously, G.I. Joe started with laser guns, so. But to me, this year hits that note, and that's why I'm calling this a sci-fi year. I feel like the definitive thing about this year is Dr. Mindbender. This is the year Dr. Mindbender comes in and takes over, and Cobra becomes his. He brings us the bats, he brings us Serpentor, and he brings, some crazy vehicles, and we've got all kinds of things. So we're going to explore the year 1986, the year G.I. Joe went totally sci-fi. And we're going to rank everything from the worst to the best. This has been an ongoing project where I rank everything in various years of G.I. Joe. And the way, it's a way of looking at everything that came out in a year, exploring it, remembering it, and in a way that's, I think, more fun than just talking about it.
Sorry about that. Is his volume still low?
I'm going to give you a little
okay, we're still top tier here.
From the
all right.
worst of the year to the best. And so that is the idea here. So
I'm sorry. His preamble is like seriously 3 minutes to get into it.
And like I said, there's not that much bad. But I'm going to go with Claymore. Now, what Claymore is he is part of the Mission Brazil 5-pack.
Yeah.
And he's the only original character. The only time we ever got Claymore was this 5-pack Mission Brazil. And the rest
I didn't get any of this stuff. This stuff, it does seem awesome.
Recolors of
I can imagine listening to that stuff on the bus
some of those recolors
on the way to
are
school
better
and stuff.
Than their other coloring. Like I think the wetsuit is cooler. He's a silver wetsuit as opposed to the normal color wetsuit. But in this case, Claymore is really just Footloose. He's
now you gotta cut loose.
Different characters. Looks like he's got, Footloose's face, but he's got black hair. What's goofy
everybody
about
cut. Everybody
Claymore
cut.
Is if you look at his file card, it basically
the file
says
cards are like the best part of a G.I. Joe.
Only special times.
It's stuff you can cut out and take to school.
Man. We're fighting
study
terrorism
upon.
here. The whole world's gonna
think
die.
about how you're gonna play with your G.I. Joes when you got home.
Better things to do. I don't like
great.
Claymore. Fuck Claymore. No. Okay, next in line we have a Slipstream. So Slipstream is
I had the
pilot
C30.
of Conquest X30.
X30.
Pretty great
X30.
fighter plane.
I did have that
also
one.
Had a very good
Oh, that's a
moment
good
in
memory.
the cartoon.
I remember
where he is the one. And
I wanted
the
the
Native American
Sky Striker,
Night Raven pilot.
but it was harder to find and more
to
expensive,
meet,
and so I got
they
the
had, like, maybe
Conquest.
A little romantic connection.
Oddly
and
enough,
he
I
sort of
think
turns
both
her to come. We think at
Both
the end
of those
she's gonna
planes
come
like
over
had
to GI.
tons of
By
pieces
the
that
way,
just fell off all the time.
Just make us a Raven on the GI Joe team that she's turned. Maybe that might be really cool. What I know, he's got kind of a goofy face. I feel like the face sculpt.
I don't like your
And
face,
it's always
dude.
funny when you think about it. When
You're
talk
weird
about,
looking.
You know, somebody in GI Joe having a goofy face.
Well, that's why I work
You
alone,
kind of
flying
feel
an
a
airplane.
little bad because you know that probably
People hate
is
my
the
face.
of a person who worked at Hasbro
People
at the
hate
time.
my
So
face.
you're like, all right, yeah, that's Bob. Like, what's wrong with that guy's face? He's like, that's Bob, and he's right there. And you know, so I you know, gotta. Sorry. Speaking of goofy faces, now we have Lift Ticket, who has a really goofy face. He also has like
Was
a
he
giant
the-
head.
Yeah, he was
Right?
the
Like a
Tomahawk
really giant
pilot.
head. I don't know what the sculpt on his head. It comes out almost like a heart. It's very weird. But he's still he actually is a really unique looking character.
It is weird.
And it's a Lift Ticket.
I
of
guess
course, the pilot,
like 3D
Tomahawk.
Joe's does a lot of these images.
So,
3D Joe's.
love the design.
Look at that
Exception of
smirk.
the weird face.
That's pretty
who I think
good.
is definitely
But
based
the
on
weird
somebody who
ears are
worked at Hasbro.
weird.
He so sorry.
It's time.
Ew.
Can you point me in the right direction?
No. Out. Point me out.
Around, you know, and I'm not making fun of your face, you know. So he looks pretty weird. He's got a good look though, with a nice, really interesting design by Ron Rudat. I assume. So he's pretty great. Like I said, there's no bad here. We're not gonna like bat. As far as the Mission Brazil thing goes, I think what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna rank them right next to.
He talks about
their
vehicles later,
counterparts.
but
I think they're fine figures. They're just different colors.
in the
which is
second
sort of
video.
based on
But,
energy. Okay,
I
next line
I
we have
prefer the
Cross
figures.
Country. Now, Cross Country
Man.
actually has a pretty unique face sculpt.
Yeah,
And
I
this
had
is-
the Havoc.
again, comes from the fact that they
That,
were, Bill Murphy
Havoc.
is the sculptor, I believe.
The Havoc
most
that
of
Cross
these,
Country
or
came
if not
with.
all of them.
It's a weird
And he
weird
would get
vehicle.
Notes. He's like, hey,
Very weird.
This guy
It's
wants you to make
impractical.
his face. This is a really face
Militarily
of Guy
speaking,
Cassidy,
it's very
who
impractical.
is a vehicle designer, and
Look at him.
and anyway, so
That's the
we
guy.
get here, and I understand that maybe he doesn't like pass the muster of today, right? In that he has a General Lee on his belt, and he is wearing a Confederate, soldier cap. And I get it. In the 80s, nobody thought about that.
General
shit at
Lee
all.
is a
There was,
car.
the Dukes of Hazzard was a regular show. in
He
which we
has a
had
whole car
that everybody
on his
loved,
belt.
that
Was that
General Lee on
Dodge
it, and nobody fucking knew.
Charger?
Same thing, cross country. It made him distinct. It made him unique. I don't care.
I don't know
People
cars.
Want to talk about what is too woke?
Yeah,
and
whatever.
what's not woke enough,
Oh my
and
God.
what's below. You can
I
do
hate
without
that
me.
people
Thank you.
dance around
So I'm
this
gonna
kind of
move
bullshit.
on. I liked him. I thought he was good. So his final card says that he
Look, Hawk
drive,
is in this driver in that
bulldozers
upper
and
seat.
big yellow thing.
I always put Havoc
And
up
is
there.
just
I'm
a
sorry,
batshit insane
Cross
vehicle.
Country up
I
there
love it.
because he's
The other thing
expendable.
is one of the reasons why, and you can find out on
Put Hawk in the
3djoes.com,
hovercraft in the
which is,
back.
by the way, where I'm getting the source material, all the pictures. So thank you to 3djoes.com. You can also hear creator commentary by Ron Rudat, who designed all the figures, or in this year anyway. And he talks about how he was a Civil War reenactor.
Nice shirt.
So
I want one of those.
When he made
Does look
Cross Country,
poorly
he was,
sewed
paying
upon.
homage to the fact that he's a Civil War reenactor. I just think he makes him look unique and interesting, and it's removing
Yeah, people
politics
used to
from it as
not care about
I like
that kind
to
of
remove
stuff.
Politics from everything, I think,
Yeah.
because I'm so sick of politics, and if you feel the same way,
Yeah, people
I'm
didn't
sick
care
of
about that
everything
at one point.
political,
You remember back in the
either
80s
side.
when people didn't
Done.
care that he
is
was a
action
Civil War
figures.
hero or interested in the Civil War?
Okay,
Anyway.
next in line we have Iceberg, and Iceberg was a pretty cool figure. in
Here's the
that
thing
we
about,
always
like,
get more snow soldiers and
growing
have
up in
that.
the North.
I love having
It's
those
like a
different
lot of those guys
factions
who
and having a
had
big-
G.I. Joes when I
giant
was up
snow
in
battle.
like
One
Lake
thing
Placid.
that stinks about Iceberg
They
is
really
he's
like
getting
the
this one
snow
measly
stuff.
Gun. It's massive. It is this massive gun.
'Cause
Ludicrously
the snow
big.
is everywhere.
White, but you're gonna lose if you're in the snow.
I don't know if you know.
Because it's
If
white.
you know
Why
about
would you make
snow.
it white? I guess it makes it more camouflage, but it also means that I am going to lose. lose it if I play with him in the snow. And so, what are you going to do? And what's really funny is, like, I kind of relate to Iceberg as a character because the reason why he loves the snow is because he grew up in Texas and it's so freaking hot in Texas.
I'm so happy.
Want to die.
I'm sweating my ass off.
He
yeah.
Just like adopt to be like,
we're going to the North Pole. Let's go.
And I'll survive.
But I'm going to lose my gun.
I like to be like anywhere.
Where is it? I don't know.
Warmer than any place where it's like hot. And humid.
Like imagine he's in an avalanche and survives. You're not finding that gun.
Sweat and it's no good. No, not into that. Next in line we have the Moto Viper.
Oh yeah.
The Moto Vipers come with
stun.
The stun.
Yeah.
And the stun is just a bizarro vehicle.
I had it. I loved it. I really liked that vehicle. I used the hell out of it.
Troop building as a kid. Nobody had troops. The only time you got more than one of anything was when you got a gift and your aunt and mom or whatever didn't coordinate, so you got the same thing. And then your mom would be like, oh, you want me to take that extra stun back and get something different? Like, no, I need 2 of those.
Yeah, my mom and my stepdad and my dad
I have 2 stuns.
And my stepmom all got me a stun.
You really needed, like, for the stun, you need, like, 3 Moto Vipers really to operate, maybe 4. And but it's a great vehicle. They have a very cool look. I really like the style of this figure and design.
Yeah, it was a very cool figure.
You might put him higher than me. I feel like I'm gonna get complaints because for me, I'm gonna put this guy low on this list. Is sci-fi, and I just like,
I had
sci-fi.
sci-fi.
We're talking about sci-fi's coming out.
Good looking gun.
Line. Like you keep
but,
sci-fi. Give me Flash.
Yeah,
sci-fi.
I get it.
He's got such a distinct look. That bright green. It's odd. It's cool. Admittedly, I do like the idea of a laser trooper.
And
for me,
that was always a bulletproof vest. So sci-fi always took rounds to the chest.
Is they're not
you know what I'm saying? He stands out. That's why it's a vest. That's why he's wearing that. It's like I'm a target. Shoot at me.
Laser. The main gun that everybody has,
that tube,
laser gun.
I lost that in about a week.
Essentially, in the comic book,
I think I sucked like soda out of it.
Main gun, everybody has a laser gun. But for me, this laser gun is very different. It's you focus on something. And you're
high intensity laser focus. Yeah.
And you're
modern like lightsaber things that they have, like the light things.
Focus on his tank.
They're all based upon that.
Through the center and blow it up. And inspired by RoboCop.
Anyway. You start skipping around, you get some more ads. YouTube is apparently going more to the ad realm.
But
I suppose they should. But
the sci-fi for me was like, he's a little weird looking. Next in line, we have Monkey Wrench, the 4th Dreadnought.
I hate
and to
Dreadnought.
Me, he is the one that feels like he should have been in the original.
But he did have that string of grenades. And what's funny is like you could shoot a gun.
I feel like
shoot a gun out of a Dreadnought's hand, and they still. Or anybody's hand, and they still have like a pistol. You can pretend pistol on their hip, or a series of grenades on their bandolier on their chest. You can start causing chaos with it.
Love the concept, the idea that he's a guy who just wants to blow everything up.
Yeah.
But
I do love that concept.
He comes with this
real North Wales,
very bizarre trident gun, which I never understood.
Yeah, what is it?
It's supposed to like why
electricity, maybe? No, maybe.
And it seems to have a spool on it.
Yeah.
So is it a trident that shoots off and then has a rope attachment?
Yeah, you
can
pull them back.
Have like a rope attachment.
It's gonna hurt.
Like a harpoon gun? Like,
harpoon, yeah, triple harpoon
gun. This gun.
Trident gun.
I just don't understand what it is. I did appreciate it. I liked it. It was fun.
Dreadnoughts,
to play
the enemy.
with, but mostly it was just fun to imagine him tossing those grenades. And the new one looked.
I had this roadblock.
More like gave you the size and presence of Roadblock. And he had that machine gun on a giant stand.
I saw the Tiger Force
But
roadblock.
to me, he's just not as good as the original Roadblock.
Indeed. That's why I got 2 of Roadblocks. 2 of the late Roadblocks. Because I couldn't get the original.
Not this one. But I even actually prefer the version 3 from
Biloxi, Mississippi.
2, I believe. Is even, I think, a better
Marvin.
Roadblock than this weird, silver-suited thing.
Just like Luke Cage.
Never been my favorite.
It's awesome.
But it's Roadblock. You gotta love it. Okay, next in line we have Mainframe.
Had Mainframe. And all those little things along his bandolier, they were explosive devices. Or hacking devices. You could hack into...
And we're just a few years ahead, right? So that the war is going to be a cyber war. And this is the guy who carries a laptop with him and a pistol. But mainly his thing is he's hacking into things. So kind of a very interesting,
also, he had a pistol there on his chest. All these hacking, explosive devices.
Years. I think this is one that really foresaw the
Mainframe
warfare would become. And now,
it kind of is.
The world we live in, he would be one of the most useful. Now, what's weird about Mainframe, he's actually one of the old, like it references that he got in the military older, so he looked a little older. And that's kind of interesting. But again, he's not that exciting.
I had a guy in my boot camp who was like 25 years old.
You go on the toy shelves and you
called him Papa Smurf because we're all wearing the blue Navy sweatpants, and we were called Smurfs. Before you get your uniforms, you're called Smurfs.
Rifle. You're picking the guy with the sniper rifle.
And so we called him Papa Smurf.
So he's not my
it
favorite.
Happens sometimes.
Very, very cool. I'm looking forward to having one. Next in line, we have Dial Tone.
Didn't have dial tone, but he did.
Like,
yeah,
he's like GI.
He's almost like Flint.
GI Joe characters, and
he's like
I think in the
Camo.
cartoon he really
he's
has
like a Camo.
Voice. For me, Dial Tone
communications
was fun,
officer,
in that he did have that very sci-fi.
Yeah, very cool backpack. The gun was cool too, and he had the beret. And I don't know what's going on with his hat.
Downward. But for me, what happened anytime I'd have
his beret. I don't know what that symbol is.
The first thing that happens is he gets shot in the back.
Yeah, but it blows up, right? Yeah.
And he lights up fire.
Wetsuit didn't
really
like
has a great look to him, and it was kind of fun.
Audio change
in the cartoon.
Second take, I guess.
Leatherneck and Wetsuit had this like relationship where they bickered all the time. They bickered kind of more like lovers than they did, buddies.
Okay.
It was awkward, and he had like kind of a little fro. He had a little fro action, one of those tight fros.
I guess you have never met a Marine.
Like Richard Simmons fro. It was weird. He was a weird character in the cartoon.
Or a sailor.
However, the action was pretty good. One problem I'm going to have with this action figure, which I imagine they will rectify in the classified version, is he does not have a weapon.
Sick of hearing about the classified.
He has a flashlight, some flippers, a backpack, and one really awesome accessory, which is this motorized, jet-propelled thing that will allow him to flip.
He's so hot for a wetsuit. Anyway,
for the sake of the
see what I'm saying? You start skipping around. Together. You start getting ads. No, thank you.
Who can you trust to replace your roof?
What the
It's
fuck?
a big decision.
What's with your beard, Barrow?
Roofing and Solar, our goal.
It just had a better uniform.
I need to pee.
Next in line, I feel people are going to yell at me again because I'm just not as big a fan as most people are. The Vipers.
I love the Vipers.
I love the Vipers. They look great.
I do prefer the original Cobra soldiers. I wish I had gotten one. But in my life, I only got one Viper in 1986.
Where these guys look more space age.
I was too young in '82.
Star Wars inspired, which I think is the
appeal.
I do appreciate
a lot of good cosplay for the Vipers. I like those. If I went to a
mount at the bottom.
If I went to a convention, I'd probably dress as a Viper
great,
because my face is ugly, and that's kind of the point of wearing a mask over your face.
For me,
so when you see all these people who are protesting and stuff like that and wearing masks, this is why.
It's just me. Okay, next we have the AVAC, which came with the Fire Bat.
Yeah.
And, this is a great looking figure. It's so
whatever, rich kid.
It's got this.
Your mom, your dad, your stepmom, and your stepdad chipped in and got you the Terror Drone.
It's just insane. Why would you want to do that?
Must be nice.
And the only reason they recruit people. Basically, Ron
Leatherneck
was a Marine, and then basically used.
I had Leatherneck.
So
what a great character! What a great Joe.
Is Ron Rudett.
Great weapon. Great look. Great pack.
Machine gun with
a grenade launcher. First Recon Battalion.
Looked tough
in Vietnam.
One of the things was one of the great things about Leatherneck, and what really made Leatherneck for me was the cartoon. He was kind of an asshole in the cartoon, right? And he was always fighting with Wetsuit. He hated they had a weird relationship. They were always fighting,
I know you think that, but it's probably because you never served in the military.
boyfriend and
I don't-
girlfriend sometimes.
I know.
Like, don't
There's a
ask,
lot
don't
of gays
tell,
in the
maybe. I don't know
Corps.
what's going on.
But it's not like that.
So
It's just the way
great.
military
Next
branches
in
bicker
line,
with
we
each
have
other, especially the
Sergeant
Corps.
Slaughter.
And,
there's 2 Sergeant Slaughters.
The Corps and
I'm
the
gonna
Navy.
rank them based on
Nobody
which one
argues
I
like
think
them.
is better.
It's not gay.
So
Idiot.
the least exciting Sergeant Slaughter has tight pants on. He's wearing wrestling pants
See?
on. And you can see it
See?
all. You can see everything.
See,
right?
now I'm starting to think you're
You
gay
can see
because you see the gay and everything.
Now, what I love about Sergeant Slaughter is,
However, I did have
cartoon,
the-
he's just an absolutely jacked, massive dude who can just do a superhuman.
Was
And
it
so,
the
for
T-Force?
me, having somebody do
Yeah, the
wrestling
camouflage.
moves,
I did have that
he was
one.
fun.
He came with
I
the,
think
the Triple T
style version
tank.
of him that came with the Triple T is
Yeah.
better than the tight pants version that you got in mail away. Just for obvious reasons, because I really don't need.
Oh
to
my
see
God! Yeah, we're going here to
Also
number
for
11.
a bunch of different reasons. One, he came with a lot of stuff. He came with this great medical
He
kit,
I
gas
didn't have a
mask,
medic, I
and
wanted
so
Doc,
you could really imagine
but
opening
I
that
want
kid up
because
and
Lifeline
having
was coming out that
patch
year.
up a
I
G.I.
wanted
Joe that was
Lifeline,
really
and
useful.
unfortunately, I was
Doc
living in
and
like a
Lifeline
remote
around.
area,
Doc
like Placid,
needs
New York.
backup. The other thing I
And
really
so,
love about Lifeline,
because
this
I
is
had
something
family
that came
members
the
coming
comic
from like
book,
cities that have
is
better access
Lifeline
to
is a
more
pacifist, which is great because it does come with a
inventory,
gun. But
my
in
uncle
the comic book,
was
he
able
would
to
not use a gun. He
get
would
me
not kill anybody. But there is
get me a
scene
lifeline.
in which he fights
And that
horror
medical
show-
kit
horror shows, just trying to
got
beat
so
the
much
crap
use out of
this,
that.
October Guard's like biggest, angriest member wants to beat the crap out of him. And so he
Yes.
fights horror show
This
using
is
Aikido,
when I started buying
where
the
he
G.I.
uses,
Joe comics
the
as well.
strength of
And I remember this
Peter,
comic.
the force of his
I might
enemy
base-
and opponent
I might-
against him.
I might
and he just
buy some
tosses
G.I. Joe
horror show
comics.
around. And so
'Cause
that
I
was one
wanna
of those
read 'em
things is
again,
what's
you know what I
great
mean?
about is
And get the
G.I.
complete
Joe,
story.
The comic book and the cartoon, you had 2 things that could fuel your imagination in addition to just
What
the
is
toys
Rob-
being there too,
what a
that
weird
added
panel.
to the way you played with it. So I would have him use that Aikido, and I did make him a pacifist.
I actually learned Aikido, and
as far as
nobody
just
ever
not
does
fighting
that.
guns and killing anybody. but
Hit
he was using-
Aikido.
He was using Aikido. He was fighting in other ways.
Okay.
So great, certainly a great character. And I'm really hoping in the G.I. Joe classified version of him would be like super deluxe, like do some.
I
really
don't
give us a
care.
real medical kit. Okay, now we're at my top 10. My top 10 of 1986.
Oh
And
my
I'm
God!
sucker for Dreadnoks, Thrasher.
I hate the
Thrasher.
friggin'
Awesome
Dreadnoks.
Now, oddly enough, for
All right,
Dreadnoks,
you don't mind if I
he
skip
comes
around.
from- most
I
people
hope.
sort of-
That
most
vehicle is
Dreadnoks
pretty
do,
awesome. He
which
talks
is
about
funny.
that in
Ron
the
Rudat
second
says,
video.
like, his inspiration for
What do we got
Mad
here?
Max, but honestly, the first.
There are a
See
lot
what I
of
mean?
ways for toddlers to
See what I
start
mean?
learning.
I just don't know why they think I have toddlers in my house.
And he also has the same color
Yeah, I don't like.
ability as Zartan.
Yeah, that's such a
And,
gimmick.
he came with like
I don't know how you
a
fell
rifle
for
that
all
shoots, like,
that.
So there's a little bit of
What?
lore there, and so that, but just
This isn't
the
real.
look of this character. This is also one of the many
Stratoviper.
main
Oh,
characters
okay.
in Cobra that is genetically modified.
Yeah, he came with the,
so that they can do
the Raven.
more in the air.
Yeah.
They can survive with and
Okay, he's cool. Dr. Mindbender,
Really love about
Mindbender.
Mindbender is
Not
one of
so
those things
cool
that
unless you
cartoon
consider
was
him
so
the
great. It's like you'll never get that out of your head.
unofficial
That's the
leader,
thing is when you're
the
playing
real
with him.
leader of
And he drives
Cobra.
the story because
Anyway.
he created
Hawk. I did have General Hawk.
worked.
What a
I love
great
the
look.
fact that he has
The
more
helmet,
gravitas,
45,
he's an older
45
guy,
on his
he's more
on his chest.
seasoned, He has, and then he had a.
But he is
a
dressed like he
handgun,
wants
which
to
you
get
didn't
shot.
get a lot of handguns necessarily before this
I gotta go to the
year.
bathroom.
And then became the leader in the cartoon. So I think this added a lot to the story. And for me, he is the leader, right? Next in line, top 5, we have Lowlight. Now, Lowlight is such a great character. First of all, I love they call him Night Specialist. He's a sniper. I think we all know he's a sniper. That's his goal, right? He comes with a sniper rifle. You don't want to. They didn't want to put sniper on the package because moms was all uptight, and you don't necessarily pay for your kid's sniper action figure. But that's what he is. But also a lot of lore around him. I think in the cartoon, there's a pretty great episode that hints at, maybe abuse or having an abusive family.
Oh, is it Lowlight?
And he goes to this kind of nightmare.
Yeah, he's a sniper.
But
He's totally a
And
sniper.
the final card talks about how one day he gets lost in the woods and he spends the whole night and he falls in love with night, right? So really, really interesting character.
Very cool looking
and
too.
A very cool looking figure.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4, we have Serpentor. Yeah,
Had it.
Serpentor.
Had it.
Mixed feelings.
Don't know where it is
about
now.
How weird Serpentor
I hope somebody
was when
has
he
it.
Came out and I think
That
and the cartoon
fabric
don't
cape
look
of his.
annoying.
That
He's obnoxious
that was
and
destroyed in like a
annoying and he
week.
doesn't work at all.
It's like,
The
yeah, I
comic,
don't need
he's
this.
So good. He's
This
so
goofy ass
interesting.
snake.
There's
You
this
know,
whole bit where
I
he
would
talks
just
about
like
he
you
invented
could
pizza,
put it around like
and he's this inspiring
the neck
leader,
of
and
a
he
Joe.
takes over Cobra through
That was something you could do.
and you know, he's kind of this romanticized figure.
Yeah,
and his
I don't want to talk
memories
about the
of all
comics
these
right
great
now.
people. Yeah, you're gonna find out.
Serpentor's
that
cool.
that he could have been a
God,
great
he
actress, but
loves
he's just a complete
he
sociopath.
loves the
And,
dreadnoughts,
this
and I
weapon
hate
that
them.
she has.
All right, Beachhead. I had Beachhead.
I think one of the reasons why Beachhead works so much is that we don't see his face. That he has some mystery to him.
He's got like a satchel charge.
He also was loaded out with weapons.
A good weapon.
He didn't
Weapons
come with that
here.
many Weapons. You looked at that backpack.
The backpack
and you
of
saw
his
he's
had
got,
weapons,
I
yeah.
think it's a grappling hook on
Yeah.
the back. A crossbow, which now they've in the classified line they've added that crossbow.
It's a lot of packages.
He just seems loaded
little
out with weapons.
pouches
like he's
for
going to battle, He's
reloads
got
and-
everything at his disposal.
He's great.
And then also in the cartoon, he plays such a
Yeah.
what's up and makes him one of the great characters of the line. And my number 1 figure is the Battle Android Trooper.
Spoiler alert.
This is one of the best action figures of all time. First of all,
I don't know. You were
just
sitting there whining
the
about the
idea
Vipers a
of,
second ago.
You know, having
It was like,
an
oh, I
android
love the
that
original.
is,
Original.
battle against G.I. Joe.
Nameless,
is an
faceless
incredible idea.
Cobra
Then he has this
Troopers.
little lenticular chest plate, so you can see the circuitry inside.
You know they came up with this. They came up with the whole
Removable
bat things
hands
because
where you've
kids
got
were
the
crying
claw
because
arm,
there's
which is so
people who
fun.
died,
The laser
and moms
blaster
were watching
arm,
G.I.
and
Joe with
then
the kids, and they're like,
a
but
flamethrower
these are people
arm. So
who
you just
died,
imagine armies
and
of
so
this
they
thing
came
tearing
up with
apart.
this
But what
robot
really makes the bats for me the
to
greatest figure of the year is the file
remove
card,
the moral
where it
ambiguity
basically
of it.
states that these things
Anyway.
are not good, high-functioning weapons, but Cobra does not give a shit. They drop them from planes without a parachute. They drop them from planes without a parachute.
Anyway.
They land on the ground and they.
Hey, it's been good chatting with you guys. Please go to patreon.com/shockmonkeyradio. Become a patron today. And if you do, I might send you a sticker pack. I got a couple sticker packs left that I may send out to patrons. I mean, I understand if you don't want to use Cash App. I don't have an app and stuff like that. I get it, you know. But if you want to, you know, just become a patron. I'll send you a sticker pack, and one of them has I have one random sticker pack that has like a deck of cards and the extra sticker in it. So you can do that, or you could just continue to watch my. Oh my God, I got 2 more views since I last checked. Anyway, people seem to like that movie. Anyway, people like my movie reviews, and that's cool. I like that. I got playlists. You know, if you're like, just tell me more about the horses. Okay. Watch body cams and laugh at them. Okay. You can watch that. You know. Or you can go to my movie reviews. Anyway, that's the only ones I'm going to recommend. This has been Shock Monkey Radio. Au Jus. I'm the Madman, and I love you.